got mail.
Congratulations. You are one of the lucky 10 selected to see a special live Roblox event in LA. Was what the text said on my computer that day. Normally, I'd laugh at something like this and then go about my day. But I had recently went through a bad breakup with my girlfriend, and I was looking to get my mind off of it by any means necessary. All I had to do to attend this special event was send a message to the attached email address, informing them of my name, age, and if a parent would be taking me to the event. Of course, you also had to live in the Los Angeles area, which I did. And so I sent, Lucas, 14, going on my own. Well, except the original email had my last name attached, but you get the point. After a while, I got a reply. Blah blah blah, we're so glad to have you attending this event. And then they sent the location and date. Friday at 6:30 p.m. It was a 30-minute bike ride away. Great. The day and time came, and I went out on my 30-minute bike ride. It was getting dark and it was windy. That's all I remember of the ride. Eventually, I stopped in front of the destination. It was some brick trash heap that had clearly seen some better days. There wasn't even any traffic or cars in the area. I almost thought the email had given me the wrong address, until I noticed a faint Roblox logo above the door. I couldn't help but feel an eerie vibe. Out of any place for an event to be held, why this? Then I reminded myself that Roblox isn't a company known for making good decisions, and so I laughed it off. I got off my bike and made my way inside. Entering the lobby, I was taken aback at how dull and lifeless it was. It only consisted of a checkout counter and a bunch of old, grimy sofas. The room was colored a depressing gray as well. Yet I had no time to pore over these details, as the woman at the checkout counter called out to me. "Welcome, you're Lucas, right?" she said. Yeah, I answered, pausing for a second before saying, "Where is everybody?" The woman shot a dead stare at me as she asserted, "They already went through the event. You're the last one." I pulled out my phone and checked the time. It was only a little past 6:40. What? The woman seemed to take notice of my confusion. "It's a short event," she said. Oh great. So I went on a 30-minute bike ride for a 10-minute event in some dump, and so I had a battle with my mind. One side wanted to dip out from this sketched out place, but the other side said, well, I'm already here, so I might as well check it out. The woman pointed towards a dusty door in the corner of the room. "In there," she said. I shrugged and I made my way over there. I took one last look back at the woman before I opened it. She just stared back at me with that same blank look, and so I opened the door. Immediately I'm hit with a foul stench. I see a long, rusty, dark corridor with dim lights. What the heck? Before I could register anymore, I hear some music begin to play faintly over the intercom. It was old Roblox music. In the moment, I found it more funny than anything. How Roblox, a rich company geared towards children, this was the best they could come up with. I walked down the corridor. I saw the first of many spectacles separated by glass panels. A full mini-sized replica of the Crossroads map. At that point, I was finally relieved to see something cool in this otherwise lifeless place. I continued down the corridor and I saw a replica of the sword fights in the Heights game, the Happy Home in Robloxia, and Rocket Arena. There were even replicas of the classic Roblox tools like the linked sword, Super Ball, and slingshot. Reaching the end of the hallway, I noticed a big red door, clearly designed to look like a Roblox door. As I got closer to the door, I heard something. Someone murmuring, talking, groaning. I couldn't tell, it was muffled. I opened the door, expecting there to be a staff member waiting to greet me and ask how the experience was, and I was prepared to tell them how underwhelming this all was. Yet, there was nothing, just a pitch-black room. I stepped into the room and stared into the darkness for a few seconds. What the heck was this supposed to be? Was this even a part of the event? Behind me, I heard the door close. Then the lights flickered on. I saw 9 figures standing a few meters away from me. They were large and blocky. Were they life-sized replicas of Robloxians? Wait, no. Upon second glance, I caught something. Blood. Blood all over them. My mind slowly started to register what I was seeing, and even recounting it now, I'm not entirely sure if I was hallucinating at the moment, because what I saw has never left my mind since. It defies all logic. What I saw shouldn't exist. Their arms. Chunks of flesh had been stitched to their arms, chest, and legs to make them appear larger. Their eyes carved out and replaced with glass black eyes, and their mouth carved into a smile and painted black. As I was standing there paralyzed, I heard it. Those murmurs, groans, raspy breathing. They were alive, and they began to limp towards me with an inhuman gait while making those sounds. It was a sound I never want to hear again. One that made my blood freeze. It didn't sound like any sound a human should be able to produce. It was something like sobbing mixed with a guttural pig squeal. I turned and ran, screaming at the top of my lungs, only to slam face first into the door. It was locked. All the while, these things were getting closer and closer. Acting quick, I braced my shoulder and slammed it into the door. It didn't budge. I tried again. It doesn't budge. The cries and squeals are practically in my ear. I feel one grabbing at my shirt from behind me. As I braced my shoulder once more, with all of my strength, I rammed into the door at full force. I fell forward as the old door came flying off its hinges to the ground. Scrambling to my feet, I sprinted down the long corridor with every ounce of strength I had in my body. I didn't bother to look back. I could already tell they were chasing me from the groans and murmurs behind me. Running through the lobby, I shoved open the door, stumbling forward and spraining my ankle. I tumbled down. I didn't have time to cry in pain. Those things, I could hear them. They were getting closer. I could hear their squeals turn to that of excitement as they closed in. My bike was only a few meters away, propped up against the brick wall. I got up and limped using the last of my reserves. With each step, it felt like my ankle was being smashed with a hammer. I heard the door open, and footsteps on the concrete, coming closer, screaming out in agony. I climbed onto the bike and pedaled at a speed that was near inhuman. My shoes flew off from the sheer force and speed of the pedaling, but I didn't let up. And as soon as the cries and squeals left my ears, I shrieked out like a lunatic the entire ride back home. What the heck happened? What did I see that day? Once I got home, I practically shouted the entire story to my parents. I didn't give a darn if I sounded insane. They cared enough to call the police, and the officers took a statement. They thought I had a bad trip on drugs or something. They had me take a polygraph test yesterday and I passed. So then they had me take them to the building. Nothing. It was long abandoned. No more Roblox logo. No more furniture. No more long hallway. The interior looked completely different. It didn't even seem like the same building, but it was. I know it was. Yet the police clinged onto their drug trip story. Whatever the heck really happened in there, I will never know, and maybe it's good I don't. Some things are best left forgotten.